Well, here he is talking about the fall, dance music, and why he's so enamoured with doing interviews. Yeah, right.
When it first formed, it was outrageous. You know, we thought it was a sellout to sign for a record label. You know, so extreme reverb. So it's just a complete sellout. You know, to be on an independent record label. No man. No.
You've been with what, 9
so
records?
compromise, really.
And you've been with what, 9 record labels now?
What?
Have you been with 9 record labels now? Is
Something
it?
like that. Yeah.
Why is it that there's been 9 record labels? Like, why have you moved?
Well, it's like I think they tend to get complacent with the fall. I think they tend to look at it like so many people out there buy it. It's indie rock, whatever, or whatever daft idea they've got about it. And I've got very firm ideas on what we're about. You know. It's like I think a lot of record labels can't really see ahead. You know. It's like,
and you don't...
It's like people, somebody was saying to me the other day, like, are you going to do a dance remix, you know, like all the other groups are doing dance remixes, you know. I mean, to me, a dance remix is like 2 years out of date already. I mean, we did it like with Hit the Nose like about 5, 7 years ago, you know. And trying to explain that to a record label is really hard. I mean, drums and bass is out now. I mean, it's like, it's just a phase, isn't it? I mean, if you know what you want to do, you just carry on straight down the middle, don't you? I find it goes around in the 7-year cycles, I think. I wouldn't have said that to you about 4 or 5 years ago, but I do actually feel very much like I did when I started the group, you know, at the moment.
And do you have the same kind of fans now as you did then, or...?
Still very much. I think we're more outside now than we were when we started, well, as much as when we started.
But would you have the same kind of people coming to see you? Or do you find, would you have the same kind of people coming to see you, or do you feel as if you can...
Well, the main thing about the fall is, believe it or not, the audience gets younger, you know. It's a lot younger than it was like 5 years ago. It's a lot younger than when we were in the charts and there's a reason to keep going. Still pulling in that pre-student crowd and that. And so I think the fall appeals to people who don't go into any category, you know. Which always cheers me up, you know. The fall don't really follow trends, you know, we sort of create them, really. So it's just like, we've always had a good drum and bass sound, you know. We tended to use a few more machines on the last LP, sort of levitate like a few more computers, but I think machines are there to abuse, really, you know. A lot of this dance stuff, I think, is... Yeah, I think you're in a bit of a danger there where DJs think they're actually musicians. I think it's a bit of a problem.
Groups like Daft Punk and Chemical Brothers and all who are, would you see them as aesthetically DJs, or would you see them as...
Not very much, yeah. I mean, when I was appearing with Dose, I did a record with Dose, who were on Pete Waterman's label. We did a show where the Chemical Brothers were supporting us just DJing, and it was the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. You know, I mean, they're boring live anyway, but imagine them just DJing. It's like somebody just playing around in the bedroom, you know, for an hour and a half. You can't cut it, as you say. I don't really want to be David Bowie. I think one of the problems of the British music scene is David Bowie really put it back a few years, you know. You know, he's still paying the price for it, you know, every group sort of goes on his guideline, you know.
How do you mean he brought it back a few years?
Well, it's sort of very, it's like pantomime almost, isn't it? It's all watered down, it's very British, it's very all watered down. Instead of having the Stooges, you've got Dave Bowie, you know. Instead of having Lou Reed, you've got Dave Bowie, you know. Instead of having James Brown, you've got Dave Bowie. Instead of drums and bass, you've got Dave Bowie, you know. It's like... And a watering down of a watering down is like distillation, isn't it? You know, I'm not very fond of musicians in the main, you know. After a while, they get a bit tiresome, you know.
But you don't find that they would feel the same about you?
Probably. I'd like to make a film or something, you know. You know what I'm saying? It seems a bit daft to make a video and spend a lot of money on it to get it shown for like 10 seconds on kiddies' TV, you know. It's like 50,000 quid at the sparrow, isn't it? You get 2 new musicians for that. Funny thing I was watching last night, what was that? Some fella, I can't remember what it was, some dance fella, he was explain all his videos. He said this one was about this and this one was about that, and they're all just like men and women going like this, you know. And he was trying to explain, I was very depressed at this time in my life, and this is a video from it. It was like soul to soul it was. You can't explain his videos, and they were all like, it was like a joke, it was like something like Spinal Tap or something. This is when the world famine was on, and it switches, the video's like this, a man going like this. And then this is the time I was going through my nervous breakdown, and I did this song, and it was like, you know, this is when I was going. It's a waste of film, really. You nearly finished now?
Yeah, nearly.
Right. Don't mind doing interviews, just don't read them, you know.
So you wouldn't read back over an interview that you'd done, or you wouldn't watch it on television?
I wouldn't go out my way to catch this, no.